What is going on, my followers? It is your boy TKD123, also known as Kevin here, and we're going to go over a very interesting interview here regarding God of War. Now, we've gotten plenty of gameplay, plenty of different showcases across a variety of different events and everything, stuff like that. However, this interview, I feel, gives us a little bit more details about the game that's coming up, and it's of course ran by GameSpot, and they interviewed creative director Cory Barlog, and it was very lighthearted, very funny interview, so I really do highly recommend you go after this video and go look at the entire interview because it's very, very funny. However, we are going to cover the very big stuff here that they were able to get out of Cory Barlog in this video. When asked about how surprising this game is on a scale of 1 to 10, he said 10, and that's obviously, you know, he's working on the game. That pretty much makes sense. He also goes on to explain here that the ability to unlock different costumes for Kratos is in the game. However, when asked also if they would be, you know, tacky or wacky and stuff like that, he denied them being wacky at all. So there will be more grounded costumes we'll see in God of War this year. After that, they went into the weapons of Kratos in the previous God of War games, talking PS2, and we're talking about the Blades of Chaos and weapons like that, and he was asked if they would ever return in this God of War game. He said, "You'll find out." So that pretty much to me is a dead giveaway that I'm sure we will see the Blades of Chaos here in this game. Now, while this interview was very lighthearted and very funny and everything and stuff like that, he did give answers that I wasn't really sure if he was messing around or being straight up here, because he gave here that the time spent in the game when you're on the boat, we saw some clips of this with Kratos and his son on the boat. We saw some of that in some gameplay, and he was asked how long and what percentage of the game is just spent on the boat, and he said 25 to 30% of the game is spent on the boat. Now, that seemed a little bit eyeballing to me. I'm not sure if that's a real metric. I don't know if he was just messing around, but I guess here you will be, you know, exploring, and you will be using the boat as a means of transportation for 25 to 30% of the game if he's not trolling. When asked whether the son of Kratos would be annoying, he said no, but with a smirk, and later on stated that the game will be a great teacher of abstinence. Also, the son was conceived through the union of love and not a mini game that, you know, was asked of the interviewer from GameSpot. He was worried that, you know, this son was conceived through one of the many sex mini games throughout the entirety of the original God of War series, and he officially debunked that statement. Next up, he mentioned something here that again could be trolling, but honestly could be real in my opinion. He said that the old classic theme music for God of War will not be featured in the game. It's kind of surprising, but if you think to Uncharted Lost Legacy, that game, as far as I'm aware of, I played the entire thing and I did not hear it once, did not have the Uncharted theme music in that game either. So maybe that's their way of sort of separating these series, even though they're in the same universe and same realm and same name of the game and everything, because Lost Legacy isn't, you know, a main streamlined Uncharted game, and this God of War seems to be definitely diverting from its old setting and old, you know, things, stuff like that. Of course, it is a continuation of the Kratos storyline, so that's where it has me confused, or why wouldn't they have the old God of War theme here? But maybe, again, he could be possibly just trolling here. He did confirm the existence of a map in this game, which is great because, you know, although this game is not necessarily open world, there are a lot of open world environments in this game, so it's kind of a linear open world-esque hub world type of game type of thing going on here. When asked about NPCs, he said there would be a large amount of them in the game, and they have a specific name for Kratos that is not like Snowman, Snowball because of his white skin. But what I'm hoping for is that there's some sort of nickname for Kratos by the NPCs that kind of tie into the overall story and some event that maybe he did in the past. And I have no idea why this question was asked, but he was asked if QTEs will be present in the game, and he gave a funny answer where he said no, but he was shaking his head yes. So obviously, you know, God of War is pretty famous for the QTEs, and I'm sure we will see a multitude of them here in the new God of War on PS4. And yes, those infamous sliding boxes in the original God of War series will make a return here in the God of War PS4. And this part was really funny because he was asking about, you know, the dimensions of the box, and if this specific box would be in the game and everything, and he tried to steer it off and say no, but he eventually, you know, kind of subconsciously said yes to the existence of sliding boxes in God of War. Now, a feature that we have been yearning for in the Destiny series is the existence of facial hair, and there will be absolutely no changing of facial hair customization when it comes to turns with Kratos. So don't expect to shave that clean beard off. The beard is a staple for Kratos now. Yes, the Kratos beard is canon. Hashtag Kratos beard canon. Now, next up here, he went on to some interesting tidbits here. He said that he allegedly played through the game many times, and he denied ever completing the game in one straight sitting playthrough. And obviously I would assume that because of his statements that he said at PSX 2017, he said that the game takes around 25 to 30 hours to complete. Now obviously that is, you know, when you complete the entirety of the game, including side missions and everything, and getting whether it be the collectibles or whatever, you know, there will be in this game. That is the entirety of the game, not so much the storyline. So I'm assuming here that if he said that it takes 25-30 hours to complete the game, I'm suspecting that the game to beat might be around 17, 18, around those lines, maybe a little bit shorter than the actual projected hours, but who knows, maybe it could be that long. But the fact that he has played through this game many times in its completion, it leads me to believe that this game is definitely, you know, obviously on sale for 2018, but it's not as broken as some people have been suspecting about it. And those rumors sparked up a lot when they were still hiring at Santa Monica for some spots on God of War, which led a ton of people to believe that this game is completely unfinished or in trouble. But it looks here that it seems to not be, if we're taking his word to heart. Kratos can no longer double jump, as confirmed in this interview. Now this has got a lot of people kind of worked up in a way because they feel that it takes away from the platforminess that is God of War in the series, of that sense of where you would do up in the air combos and stuff like that. And they were very, I've seen like a lot of, you know, very big backlash on this little tidbit here, but I'm sure it will be fine. I'm sure it will still be great here, but we just won't be able to double jump in God of War. Waypoints in this game are an option in the menu, so you don't have to have a giant waypoint that tells you where the objective is. You can have that turned on or off and just follow the linear path in a more cinematic sense, if you will. The infamous giant scar down Kratos' chest will also be featured in God of War. Of course, that was, you know, pretty much a given, but just in case you were wondering, the scar is still there. Side quests are in the game as well, but they are not called side quests. He made that a very big deal. He made a very, you know, underlined point that they are not called side quests. So whatever the name will be, I'm sure it will be interesting in some fashion. The existence of puzzles are in the game as well in God of War. And lastly, they were trying to fish out that date. They nailed down Valentine's Day as a joke, but of course we still do not have a date here going into early January of 2018 here. Now let's talk about when this game is releasing. Now if we look to Reddit, if we look to New Era, there have been a lot of talk about the PlayStation Store leak that happened a few months ago that slated the game to drop March 22nd, and I gave a lot of credence to that just because it's from the PS Store. Like, it's not from some random Joe Schmo website, it is from the official PlayStation Store. So, you know, for them to slip up and for them to give such a specific date to it, and then after that they changed it to a placeholder date of December 31st, 2018, of course that's what they always do, it seems like March 22nd is our best bet here, but there seems to be a little bit more backing to that date. And this comes to us from the posting of the God of War art book on Amazon's UK site. Now they said here that it was posted on the release date of March 15th, which is a week prior to the March 22nd date that the God of War game is supposedly going to drop according to the PS Store leak. So if we look at that, and if we look at this date, which the God of War art book launching a week before the game, definitely does make sense that we've gotten plenty of different books that are surrounded around games a little bit before release. They have, you know, strategy guides that come out before game release and stuff like that, and although it's rare, it does, you know, somewhat happen from time to time. So I feel like having this art book have a date of March 15th definitely does just make the March 22nd date of God of War seem even more in the realm of possibility. But then again, who really knows when we'll get this game? I have no idea if we'll get some sort of trailer that announces the release date, or if we'll see it at the Super Bowl. Some people were giving some comments about that, saying that that might even happen as well. Who knows? But I hope we get it soon here in early 2018, and I'm hoping that March 22nd date ends up being the real deal. And on that note, that is all we got here from this interview. Again, go down below, the link is in the description where you can check out the full entire interview. It is very funny, it's very short as well, but it is a great interview. I think it was a great job. And of course, while you're down there, to also check out our description where you can find our Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff, where you can see our social media and follow us and know all things PlayStation across all of your different social media sites. And if you enjoyed the content, make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel to get all things PlayStation on your subscription feed. Thank you all for watching, and as always, keep on following.